Welcome everyone to the after church tea time for the Sunday service about presence. My name is Christine, and today I have with me, introduce yourselves, ladies.
Hi everyone, my name is Anupama.
Hello, I'm Noreen.
Good, so today's topic really resonated with me because it's been the thing that I've been healing the last few weeks, all about being present, staying grounded, because sometimes we tend to think that the good thing is somewhere in the future, or I'll do the hard work now and I'll just party later. Like Friday's here, right? But the rest of the week, we don't think about that. So it's been it's been great to watch the service because I spoke about finding the joy in every single moment, not just a particular point in time. So that's something that is great, right? Because we, as divine children of God, are designed to enjoy life, not to just live for the weekend or for the good moment right now and not for the present.
Yeah, you're right. This is something that I've been working on too. And I was amazed that the sermon was on this topic because I was like, oh my God, isn't this just what I've been healing this week? And I loved everything from the meditation, which was also about, staying present with God, to the card readings and to the sermon itself and the introduction by Granville for the sermon. And I love the story because I'm sure that we've all been that little boy, in our lives. And that's something that I've been working through because the tendency has always been to either live in the past or in the future. And so staying present has been, like they said, it takes work. And whenever people say practicing presence, I always remember Chrissy because she always says this so much. And I've been in her group coaching and she used to always say this, practicing presence, practicing presence. And it's getting better. It's not been easy because, the mind loves to divert itself into multiple things. Like we were saying, we've done this job of, being in the workplace and waiting for the weekend. And when the weekend is here, we always say, right, the weekend passes away like, in a blink of an eye, and it's the work week again, dreading the Monday morning. And I think maybe that's what happened with January too. It kind of just went in the blink of an eye. And I was just thinking, wow, it's end of Jan, but this sermon was just a wonderful way to start February. Practicing presence from the first day of the new month. And it's been wonderful. I love the story. I know the story, but it's good to be reminded of how we've always waited for the future. Because as a child, I remember waiting to be an adult because I wanted that freedom. I wanted that money. I wanted to be able to go out on my own. And now as an adult, I'm healing my inner child. So I'm wishing I could go back. But yeah, it's good to stay present because in this moment is like they mentioned in the sermon, Adam and Brianne, that you can experience your miracles, your union, presence with God, manifest your desires and really enjoy it. And I'm learning that to really stay present, stay grounded. And it's been a really wonderful feeling, to bring myself back into the present moment. It's something I'm still learning to master, but definitely feeling better about than I did before. Like at the start of my journey, I was always more interested in, what everybody else is doing, especially what my twin flame is up to, and very little on myself. But now I'm more about what am I up to? What is it that I'm doing? And it's definitely different and definitely more empowering, more loving, and more productive. That's how I feel about this topic.
I love your point about, oh, you're in. You wanted to say something?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Sure. So yeah, I loved your point about sometimes living in the past, because a lot of us do that or did that, especially those of us who went through some trauma in our lives. Like we stay stuck in this moment when the trauma happened and this behavioral pattern over and over until that is healed. And that's something I experienced for a big part of my life. And shout out to the mind alignment process for really helping me to heal these patterns, because it was a huge thing preventing me from being present, because I was experiencing all this anxiety and all this trying to really think of the worst case scenario every day, every moment. Like, if I go out and this happens, and if I do this, what will happen? Being prepared for everything. And yeah, that's a lot of anxiety. And I could not really enjoy my life like that. It's all these thoughts at the back of my mind, right? So it's very important to, if someone watching this is experiencing this as a result of trauma, it's very important to really heal from this trauma. And that's when you experience so much more presence and so much more enjoyment for life.
Yeah, you're right. This is what happened for me too, living in the past and then wishing for brighter days, so living in the future. And never being aware of what's happening now, because in the now it was always the past. So never, so it's, and of course there's no need, there's no point and no need also to regret those moments now, but we can stay present now and still have what we desire. I mean, that's what when Brianne and Adam shared the story of the little boy, that's what reminded me of that, because I was also doing this, like regretting having not lived my life. Once I learned about being present, I was like, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do this. I was thinking about the past. I was thinking about the future, or I wasn't. So it's okay to let that all go and choose to stay grounded in the now and create with God the life that I was envisioning at that time, that life of peace, that life of love, that life of um, wanting that freedom and abundance, the one that I was like wishing for, that which I could. I mean, at that point of time, it was a life I was creating to escape from the trauma. But now I can actually, now that I've healed the trauma through the mind alignment process, I can actually create that life by staying in the moment, and that's an important realization for me to have and to share with others who are having the similar experience or have had this experience. So it's wonderful to bring this topic in.
Yeah, and I feel like staying in your regrets or your upsets or envisioning the future instead of staying present is like kind of you seeking something outside of yourself, whatever that is, like joy, freedom, and even God. And I think that's a pattern of humanity, because we think that in projecting into the past or the future, we are going to get something. Except that thing that we are seeking isn't the present. It's God. God is present always. And yeah, and that is a lesson I'm still learning, of course. And you can always deepen your presence. When my thoughts would wander in the past, I would always like judge myself because I wasn't being present enough in my reality and my body, and that is bad. That is kind of like forcing yourself to be present. Uh, Otherwise, whereas true presence is being in peace and actually, I think, awareness of of your being. And that feeling, as Brian described, is one of big peace and relief washing over you. And that is the best thing ever. And from that place, I mean, I feel powerful, and I feel like I can do whatever I want. I can create my life. I can love myself and my environment, and that feels really, really good. And it feels good to, like, even though I am working on presence a lot these days, it actually feels good to go through the steps of learning how to be present with myself. It feels like adulting. It feels like stepping forward in life. It feels rewarding, in short. And that's what Adam and Brian were saying, that uh, it's okay to not have done so in the past, but you don't need to have regrets. You just need to enjoy um, enjoy the steps of life. And by enjoying the steps of life, you will realize that you're all caught up. Like, your life isn't going away. Like, you don't need to hold onto it and force it. You just need life to run its course. And yeah.
That's amazing what you shared. I love that. Yeah. I also just wanted to share that um, in a way, I've been experiencing, like I said earlier, the days going by fast. And yeah, I experienced this before too, when I was living in the past and in hoping for a better future. But there's a big difference. Like when I'm present with myself in the day, then I am more productive, and the day goes by fast. But at the end of the day, I feel so fulfilled, and I remember what I did in the day, and what I've done in the day takes care of my next day, because I've done what I needed to do today and what I was guided to do, not what I should do or shouldn't do, etc., etc. And the difference with the past was the days flew by, but I don't know how those days went. It was like I could literally see like because they went by, but I don't know. It just felt like nothing, empty. Um, I don't know what I did. It felt like I did nothing, but I was doing something. I was living in a different zone. I wasn't staying present. I was always doing something, but it didn't feel like I had done anything for myself. I didn't feel productive. I was going to work. I was enjoying the weekends. I was enjoying the evenings, but it never amounted to something that made me feel fulfilled and complete, which is the difference with, not being present and with being present. And, it's like because I made the choice uh, to make a different choice and to move forward with the choice, to move forward with God. So it feels like now, even if the day goes fast, every day counts. Every day counts to getting closer to that future that I had been envisioning. It's becoming a reality now. It's not just remaining as a dream. It's not just remaining as something, out of my reach. Like you said, um, it's not something outside of me anymore. It is me creating that right now so that I can have it right now. And that's an important part of being present too, like really appreciating where you are, appreciating where you've been, instead of just looking at it as, oh, this whole mess I had to be in and I'm still in, appreciating that, okay, maybe you went through that, but it's shown you so much, looking at what it's shown you and taking that and putting it to good work today, so that all those desires in your heart that you've kept on hold, hoping somebody would come and save you and make those dreams come true, or somebody would just gift you the money or gift you the car, or you just win the lottery, or win the lucky draw for the house, instead of just waiting for those things and then saying, oh, the miracle, oh, you can actually do it and have the miracle right now, have the miracle in every moment, because like a Course of Miracles says, a miracle is not supposed to be something, a once in a way thing in your life. It is every moment that you are alive is your miracle. So do what you are called to do what you want to do. And that's what your purpose is, to do what you desire to do, what your heart desires. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful shift to move through the day being very aware of every moment of the day and how I am, very aware of myself in every moment of the day and making a different choice. Because like I said, I'm learning. So there are times when I still find myself, going back to the past or thinking of the future. And I'm like, oh, okay, I want this. So what do I have to do? I have to come here and, create this. So it's a learning process, and patience is required. It's a very fulfilling process to be, applying in your life. So I highly recommend it to everybody. And the mirror exercise is the best way to stay present with yourself, because you're going to every space and, bringing love. And love is what you are and what you do when you're in every moment, aware in every moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, and in doing the mirror exercise, you actually go back on these past regrets that you had and heal them, so that you actually don't experience them anymore, which is really beautiful.
Exactly. You release that emotional charge and you come back and you bring yourself and, ground and then move forward. So it's the best tool to stay present, to learn about yourself, to reconnect with yourself.
That was a great point you made about how we wait for the money or we wait for the opportunity, right? And this is very important. Like if you are doing your life purpose and you're waiting for the opportunity to do your life purpose, but yeah, what are you really waiting for? Because the opportunity is in the present. You're alive, so that means that you can do something about it. And it's a great thing to ask, like whatever your goal is, whether it is to go deeper in your life purpose or be with your twin flame, like what am I doing right now to achieve that? That's a very important step, because we tend to think that, oh, I'll be with my twin flame when he or she contacts me, or when the quarantine ends, I don't know. Yeah, but
or when they unblock me.
Yeah, when they unblock me. Yeah, but when they block you, they're showing you something where you're not being present with yourself. You're instead looking to them to satisfy this need for love.
Yeah. And it's so amazing when you ground in and stay present. That, like you mentioned with the life purpose, like doing a job before, when I wasn't present with the job and just doing it so I could get that check at the end of the month, was so strenuous and so draining. And so that's when I was waiting for the weekend, and the weekend would just pass by and I'd be like, oh God, another week. And getting up in the morning was like the biggest torture of all. But
I'm sure we can all relate at some point.
Forget Monday morning. Every weekday morning to wake up to get to work was like, oh, I am sick. But you have only so many sick days. But doing your life purpose, of course, initially when I started getting into what I would really like to do, I just still had that old pattern where I would forget to do things because I was still like, okay, I would like my life purpose to be like this. I was going into the future, and forgetting to do stuff. But now when I'm doing more and staying grounded, it doesn't feel like work. It's like things just happen and it's easy. And when it's done, it's just like, oh, I did that. I did this. Oh my God, wow. And it's not that high. It's that, wonderful bliss feeling, because you've done it guided, and you know you've done something, and it's the peace, because you've loved yourself through the mirror exercise and come to that place of peace. And after that is that feeling of, wow, I did this. And it just feels really good, you know, to do your life purpose, to love yourself. I never thought I would be saying that. It feels really good to love myself, because I used to always wait for someone to love me. But it feels really good to stay present and do whatever work you have to do, whether it's exercise or cook or create a life purpose, or even meeting people, you know, listening to people, or anything. Being present in every relationship that you have, every situation, really gives that fulfillment and bliss, and which is what we've always been wanting. That's why we want to change our past, so that we can have that blissful future. But you don't need it in the past. You can't change the past. You don't need to wait for the future. You have your now to create.
Yeah. Yeah. I can definitely give examples to like
Please.
being caught up in these patterns and how it doesn't help you. Like for example, being caught up in maybe a fight that happened with my twin flame, or oh my god, if I had said this, what would have happened? Like how could it have been different, or what how is he feeling now? And I would realize that I would completely detach from myself and what I had to do, and miss things that were really important in the process of loving myself and being present with myself and being grounded. And when I realized that, I was like, oh damn, like I've been caught up in the pattern of ego that wanted to point outside of myself, and kind of wait for outside signals, outer signals, to confirm that it would change my life. But changing my life and miracles come from the inside. And when I realized that, it was like a game changer. And also, another example of this is with my artwork, with art. What I feel is when I do something to come to a result, a specific result, I kind of attach that motive of or result to what I'm doing, and it is actually blocking. Whereas when I create just to feel the joy of being with God and being present, without necessarily knowing the outcome and surrendering what it will come to, I feel it's much more enjoyable, and that is why sometimes it feels like even more joyful to be in the process of creation than seeing the result for yourself when it is finished. And that is absolutely crucial, and that goes back to the story that Adam and Brian shared, and how enjoying your life and being present even when your work isn't finished is very important. It's very important, and the global work of your life is really truly never finished. So you may as well like begin to enjoy being present now and work on that.
Yeah, I love that you said that. And this, what you said about envisioning the result and getting stuck on that, that's what I was saying about, you know, staying in the future, because the result is always something that would come only after you do the work. But staying stuck on the result is being in the future, and then you're not being present in this moment where you need to take the next step. It's good to have a goal. It's good to want the desire, but want and walking towards it is what is required. And that is where staying present with yourself comes into the picture. And this is something that I've been releasing to, like just staying, oh, you know, this would be so nice if I could have this much money in my account. Or in the past, like, oh my God, he said this, now we have to talk about this thing that happened, last year at this time, remember? We have to heal this. And it doesn't help to stay stuck in the past. That's why the mirror exercise, you heal that upset in you and keep going forward with your twin flame, with your life purpose, with yourself, with your relationship with God, because that is ultimately what you want, union with yourself. Even though it may not look like that at this moment, but that is what you ultimately want, to be with yourself, to really know yourself and live your life.
And also, when you are present with yourself, you're able to see clearly what the choices you're making are and where you are when it comes to your goal. And I can give an example about that. I had the goal a while back to really grow into my design skills. Like, I want to make things a bit prettier, right? And I was so focused on, like, oh, my skill is not where I want it to be. Like, oh, that looked horrible. It really judging myself instead of being present with what I was doing and what I was doing in the design. And then a friend in the community just said at some point that, hey, you know what? Like, you've grown a lot in your skill. Like, you're not honoring yourself here.
Yeah, you definitely have. And that's definitely something with, appreciating where you are in this moment is part of it. Like I've always dreamt of speaking live and, talking and to people, addressing
Look at
people.
you now.
And I used to always think, oh, it would be so wonderful, but how will I do it? Like, who are the producers I have to meet? And it's just about, where do I have to, it's just about receiving the next step and taking up the opportunities that God is presenting to you, which you will miss when you are not present in the moment. So, if you're not present, and that's when, like Brian was saying, that's when you miss the opportunities that God is showing you, because God is always giving you what you're asking for, is always answering your prayer. But it's only when you're present in the moment that you can receive it, and you can hear the solution, you can receive God's love and answer and the miracle that you are praying for. So it's about receiving, taking that next step, taking the step provided. And yeah, here we are addressing, and not being a Christian, I never anticipated that I would speak at an after church service, but here I am talking about a sermon, which is something that, because we're unionist, we transcend that too. So God always provides whenever you've had the dream. It doesn't matter if you had the dream when you were 10 or 7 or 14 or 20. It really doesn't matter. It can come true now. Just stay present with yourself, heal your upsets, use the mirror exercise. Like Christine mentioned earlier, if you had any trauma, then go through mind alignment process. We have such wonderful coaches and practitioners of MAP that can help you to release all that past that is keeping you stuck in the past or the future, so that you can bring yourself into the present, which is where your miracles and dreams happen.
Yeah, beautiful.
I love what you said about oh, go on, Yurin.
I want to share something that Aubrey commented a while ago, and it is, I feel like a key component here too is to being present is acceptance. Oftentimes, if we can accept where we are and what is coming up in the present moment, we don't have to fight it, and we can be open to receiving. And yeah, I completely agree with that. And I would add that another key component is trust, like trusting God, which is a big thing on my journey. And yeah, about what Anupama said, like if you have dreams, like being present doesn't mean like you're giving up those dreams, but you're giving up the form, surrendering the form in which they happen. Like, for example, you always dreamed of talking live, but you would have never imagined that it would be in this form. And it's in trusting God that you realize that your dream was happening without you even realizing it, because you surrendered the control of the process of getting there. And that is what is beautiful. And that is a big thing that I've learned this past few years on the journey, is that trusting God is like lifting a heavy weight. It's so beautiful. And it means like you don't even have to worry about where the miracles happen and how. And basically, you don't have to worry about the how. It will happen. You just have to claim it and receive it.
Yeah, I love that. You don't have to worry about the how, and you don't have to ask why or when. You just have to get clear on what. What is it that you want? What is it that you desire? And God is right there doing the heavy work for you. All you have to do is, when you're doing your work by staying present with yourself and God, it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel like, that I have the whole world on my shoulders and then some. It feels so much easier. It's like literally having the genie with you all the time. And you don't need to get a magic lamp. You have the mirror exercise and map. That's your magic lamp.
Yeah, I love what you shared about like having this dream and not worrying about how it will come true, because I do remember I had this dream of marrying my twin flame, like, and I wanted to marry in a church of sorts, but I could find no church I resonated with. That was before unionism. And then unionism happened.
And now you have the Church of Union where you can get married.
Yeah, so it feels very good that God gave me this opportunity, right? And is giving it to us all, right? Because I'm sure I'm not the only one who has this dream or this desire.
We're all there.
Mm-hmm.
It feels really good to stay present. And that's where your harmonious union is within you. When you stay present, you align with it. It's not something that you have to wait for. You can release the waiting energy. That's the huge weight that I lifted off my shoulder. The weight of waiting. Waiting for things to happen. It was like this big weight on my shoulders, literally like walking, like, I have the whole world. You may have seen that image of Atlas with the world on his shoulders.
Mm.
So that weight of waiting for my miracles to happen, it was such a relief to let it go, free your shoulders up to hold yourself high, to hold yourself into your true divine self, to stand up tall.
I love that, because I see it in a lot of people like, oh, I'll be happy when like my twin flame comes back, or when I have this much money, or I don't know, I'll have my union when.
Yeah,
it's always conditional. It's always someday in the future. Never now.
Yeah. No more waiting.
Exactly, no more waiting.
We have only now.
Yeah. I want to share a comment from Kimberly. When I rush because of mind of future, I get out of flow. Haste makes waste. Yeah, I think it's really beautiful, and it complements what we have been talking about. And yeah, I mean, I feel it's like when I came to this realization that I didn't need to wait for my dreams to come true, and I didn't need for outside forces to make it happen. I was like, why isn't this taught in society?
In schools.
Yeah, in schools when we're young. And I'm really grateful for being here and setting the path with the Church of Union, because like this is valuable like information, and it's just amazing. And I think it's relieving like when you realize that, oh, you can have a lover, but you don't need to depend on him to make your dreams come true, or you don't need to wait for society to accept you to become what you want to, who you want to become, basically. And I feel like that's when you experience the freedom that you wanted all along.
Yeah, that level of freedom is really something to achieve. It feels really good. And like you said about schools, it ends with us. Like now that we are aware of this, we move forward by spreading this word, this message, and we bring about this change. It starts with us, and the old ways end with us. We don't, move in that way anymore. And we show people how to achieve this freedom, this achieving their miracles, their dreams by themselves without waiting, without delay, giving them, showing them that they can claim their power back, giving them that, tool to have their power back.
I had a thought based on what we're discussing that, yeah, we tend to think that our dreams coming true is just one moment, but in fact, it's an unfolding. So let's say your dream is to come into your harmonious union. Every mirror exercise that you do, that is your dream coming true. It's the steps, right? So it's happening. It's not this one moment and then it's gone.
Yeah, and I feel like God gently reveals steps of your dreams, ones that you can desire that seem possible to you at this time, and that you know that you can achieve, and that is very compassionate of Him. And yeah, and I agree, it's an ever unfolding experience of life. Yeah, and I want to share that one of the dreams that I had when I was very little was, how can I change the world and make it come together? Like, how can we compromise the polarizing parties of society, and how can we make great change by unifying all of this without annihilating all the different independent forces of society? And I would have never imagined that that would come through the Church of that would come through 6 months of Black Lives Matter discussion that are truly making a change in the world. And also, I see our chat, I see the spiritual family that I have here, and I see the successes that we see within ourselves and also throughout society. And it fills my heart with joy knowing that my place is here and that my dream is interconnected to the dreams of everyone else. And that is the beauty of God and oneness.
Yeah, the Black Lives Matter group is great for that. It's what all these protests are trying to do, but maybe not in the most aligned way, because there are a lot of issues in that, right? But yeah, in healing this within and being present with what is being shown to you, it is giving a huge change to the world. Because when you see yourself as divine, then yeah, everybody else can see that too, right?
Yeah, thank you. And oftentimes, we just go with the flow and let God be the center, the core of our discussion, and look at what it does. It's just healing, and it's another testimony to being present. Changes everything because God takes care of the rest. He meets you there.
Yeah, and He does it so easily. Like when you come to this realization that you never had to live a hard life, that's like a whole new realization, a world of realization again, that, oh, no pain, no gain. No, I don't have to go through pain to gain ever again. When I'm doing it with God, when I'm doing it with God, God makes it compassionate and easy. And it's really fulfilling. And you get what you wanted, and things you didn't expect in a good way, of course, you know.
Yeah,
And
you
then
don't have to suffer your way through
you
it.
don't have to struggle or suffer your way through to get that dream, to fulfill it, to
Important.
manifest it. Yeah. Just
Because
go
we
with
see it a lot
God,
in
stay
consciousness.
present. Hmm?
Yeah, it's very important to address because we see it a lot in consciousness that, oh, I've suffered so much, now I deserve my reward, right? And it's like, I'll suffer a lot now and then I get my reward sometime in the future. But yeah, you don't need to suffer, right? And your reward is in the present moment. It's in being alive. It's in being with God.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can let go of that belief. And that's when we give up, right? When we think that I've gone through all this pain, now just give me. That's when the entitlement, and then when you don't get it, you're like, oh, okay, then forget it. I don't want it anymore. But no, we don't need to live that way now. We just stay present, heal, love ourselves, be with God. Keep going forward, keep walking.
And even if you are experiencing pain in the moment, right? Being present with this negative feeling is so powerful. And even if you feel resistant in loving yourself in this moment, this presence is what melts away this resistance.
Yeah, I remember Jeff mentioned in the last live that he like, which is the like first live, when he mentioned about having this massage done, and the therapist touched a point where he was like, oh my God, that really hurt, but he stayed present with the pain and it went. So that is the power of staying present. You become really aware of all that you are, and that's really worth it.
And also what Brian said is like being stuck on the past or the future is death.
Is death. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like not how the universe works. And I think Shaleia posted in this group something, a quote. I think it was yesterday. I don't remember. But it's like, don't know if I can find it, but when you arrive, oh yeah, in the end of time, we arrive to the present.
Yes, that was a very deep.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
You just can feel the rich meaning of that. Like,
yes. Yeah.
we arrive, we are present, and we are completely 100% present with God.
Yes. Yeah. Do we have any other comments to address?
I have a comment that, yeah, now taking this deep breath, it feels so good sometimes to just take a breath, feel how good this breath feels.
Absolutely, yes. Everything about us is divine. So breathing, staying present with our body, everything that's going on is staying present with God and yourself.
Experiencing that fully.
Yeah.
Alexandra shared a quote from JS3. Your loving presence dissolves away all your fears. It is good. And Kimberly shared, I am a message, I don't know how to pronounce that, message therapist. Yeah. Yes, I have the passion to use breath and light to filling the painful area I am touching on. Together we use their exhale and to release the issue in their tissue. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's an application of what presence is.
Yeah.
It was in one of the courses where Shaleia was talking about like maybe having a pain in her back, I think. And in this moment, she said the decree that commands all the cells in her body into their natural state of perfection. Right. And yeah, it feels very good to really know that we have power in our body.
We do. But it's always in this moment.
Yeah, I think it was in Romance Attraction, and
Yeah, I think so too.
there are meditations as well. And she said, bring in loving awareness to that part.
Yeah, and that's the eye exercise also that we do in the Romance Attraction course, like staying very present and looking at our own eyes in the mirror. That's the most beautiful way to come back to yourself and stay with yourself.
For those of you watching that don't have the C-course, the first one is free in the free starter kit. If someone can link it, you're in maybe. That would be great.
I try, yeah.
Yeah, I recommend it. Like, it's a great course.
It is. If you want to stay present with yourself, you learn how to romance yourself too. And guess who will show that to you as your mirror?
Confirm, I did this e-course like 2 times and my twin came with flowers.
Wow, there you go.
It's great.
You want the proof? There's the proof.
The proof.
Yeah. I want to share what happened like today during the Sunday service. When it began, I was like kind of distracted. I was finishing a task that I had to do before, and I was on my phone responding to messages. And throughout the service, I kind of grounded and became more present. And I think it was definitely related, a lesson related to what we spoke about today.
Yeah. Yeah. We're learning. It's a process. So we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll become masters of being present.
I read an article the other day about some schools considering adding meditation to like the break times, or I'm not sure if they're going to apply that, but it would be great to add something like this because it is teaching people from a young age to be present with themselves and their bodies.
Yes.
That would actually be a good idea.
Mm.
Yeah, but to have more schools do that. We have few, I think in India we have really few, like maybe just a handful of schools that really encourage children to connect with their feelings, and so they don't have regular classes or homework or exams. So when the child goes to the school, they are encouraged to really express themselves and feel what they want to do. So I heard this like story of one child wanting to uh, learn how to fish, and he enjoyed it because he enjoyed staying present with himself. You can't make a lot of noise and attract fish. So it was I was like, wow, that's amazing. I wish the school was there when I was going to school. And some other children just want to draw, so they're encouraged to draw and paint. And I was like, then what about exams? They don't have exams. But then I was like, how about when they have to go to college? Well, they go to different colleges that encourage this system of learning, and there are. So it's good to look forward to having more such schools in the education system, that where to have that holistic education. It really keeps the child, because babies and little children are very connected to themselves, and to have education systems that continue, that let them keep that connection alive, is what we really need.
Yeah, it's so important because as kids we're so in touch with our feelings, and then as we grow older we're encouraged to just numb out or not express those feelings because it's inappropriate.
Yeah.
But this never helps.
No, it doesn't. But we can bring that change now.
Mm-hmm. Feels good to be present.
It does.
Yeah.
It definitely does. This is where the gift is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The gift of you is the most alive in this moment. So treasure every moment. Make the most of every moment. Really love yourself in every moment. You will be amazed at who you discover yourself to be and who you discover God to be. The unfolding of that journey is the most amazing journey you've ever been on.
Great. Do we have any other comments?
No, I think it's...
I feel complete.
I feel complete.
Yeah.
Perfect. So thank you everybody for joining us, for those of you watching and those of you commenting, and enjoy the rest of your week and day. And remember to stay present.
Yes. And join us next Sunday for the next sermon.
Yes.
And have a blessed week. Stay present. Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste. Bye.
Bye.